We're back with Caitlin Hannon. The song you just heard is called My Own Company. Um, Tell me about your relationship with yourself. You got a lot going on with other people on this album, but it seems as though you uh, you saved probably one of your most difficult loves for last.
Oh yeah. I love, it really is a concept album in a way. And I have had so few people ask about like the it in terms of a body of work and like the
That's
different
like the
angles
whole
of love.
purpose
And
of
I
this
mean,
show, like addressing albums as a body of work.
I hope that you always have this show and never stop doing that.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, because I just that's the way I used to consume albums. I feel like I haven't consumed music that way as in a general rule in a long time. It's like it's really special when I like listen to an album front to back three times in a row, and then, you know, decide how I feel about it. But um uh so my own company, I started writing that after Naomi Judd uh left us. And you know, it reminded me of the 2008 housing crisis when I was a bartender in New York, where you are. And everybody, like, people were jumping out of windows to their deaths because they were waking up with my net worth, And I was like, wow, um, you really have to, you really have to develop something inside to cling to. And I do believe that. Like, I believe that you're I mean, I do hope not to be perpetually single and angry. I don't think I'm that angry. I mean, it might sound that way in my songs. I definitely feel that I harbor a certain amount of hurt and I just like metabolize it in the day, but I metabolize it in my songwriting so that I can have fun in my life. But I do think that like your ability to love another person is directly, the is what's the word for when the ratio must equal the other thing?
Proportional, correlated.
Yeah, correlated proportional to like your ability to love yourself. And so in my own company, I wanted that first verse to say it was about the cliche, you know, like I'm talking to this other person and I have disappointed them. They are not what I'm not what they thought I would be. I didn't out to be the girl of their dreams, but I'm in it for life. And then in the second verse, the twist is you realize that she's talking to herself. And I had gotten about that far in, and then my friend Kylie Connell, who she put out an album on 30 Tigers last year called My Own Company. It was the title track of her record, which just shows you how long it takes me to make a record. But I kept hearing her sing it. I kept hearing her singing it in my head, and I thought, man, if I want Kylie to sing the song, I better ask her to finish writing it with me. And so she came over and she's really responsible for the bridge, which is like one of my favorite bridges in any of my songs. It's like we could have said the Cumberland River, but like we ended on the Cumberland, and it's just it that song, I think a lot of us were feeling after it was such a shock when I mean there was definitely a lot of um sort of so they there was they took that family, the judge, they take a lot of ownership of the mental illness in their family, and I don't know them personally, but from somebody in my position or Kylie's position, it was like, wow, she had it. She had everything that we think we want. that we need in order to be happy. And they were about to induct her into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and then she killed herself the day before, like it was such an interesting message to send. Like it really, and her and Naomi Judd had so many tumultuous relationships in her life as well. And I think that we needed to write a song about having something to anchor us to the planet and to ourselves, regardless of losing or not attaining everything that our culture tells us that we need to attain in order to be valuable. And so it is a really inappropriate final song. It was going to be the last song on the record, and then I decided that we needed to put a demo version of Waiting on. But I do think of my own company as being the last song on the record because it's the last sort of fully produced song with the strings and the band and everything.
Well, it is a powerful one, and yeah, I really still feel for the Judd family. If
Yeah.
you know, if everything is not enough, then you know that mental illness is a real thing.
Mm.
You can't write it off as anything else. Um, so let's talk about that last one. Let's talk about Missing. I know, yeah, it's a demo version and it came out on a prior EP, but it is absolutely the most pure love story on the album. It feels as though there is nothing that can keep them apart. Tell me a bit about the story of your brother.
Okay. Um, yeah, said I think that it think it is the pure love story. It's a true story up until the third verse, because my brother is still in prison. He was incarcerated when he was 17, and now he's going to be 52 in June. June. Whoa, it's like days away. Which is, every time he has a birthday, it's like I can't believe he's still in there. Um, And a big part of my songwriting has been in sort of educating people about juvenile life without parole. And when I told him that I was going to write a song called Waiting, he really doesn't like being the subject of my songs. Like he really would appreciate it if I would quit writing songs about him, although he does love waiting. Like he thinks it is a beautiful story. And really you know, it it was a healing song for him. He wanted me not to write it about getting out of prison, but to write it about Laura because he's been in love with the same girl since he was 15, high school sweetheart, been in prison since 17. And so I told their story as if, what would have happened, had how I told that story basically to express his love for her, the actual real live human. Like I, they're very much a part of each other's lives, and it's kind of wonderful that he does actually really have this love in his life. Like my brother has this real love in his life, but when at the time that I were waiting, um, they he was more in a like a pining for her situation, which is devastating when you're like your best friend and brother is incarcerated for life without parole and they have no opportunity to actually develop a real relationship with another person. Um, and so it's a tragedy. in real life, and it needed to be told in a way that expresses, well, it just doesn't make sense that like someone with so much potential would only get one lifetime if they're going to spend the entirety of their life in prison and not have the opportunity of love, but spend that time becoming someone who's so worthy or so capable of that, then there must be some um like I just tried to create an afterlife scenario where it might work out, you know, without being too, emotionally frothy about it, sort of like keeping it real because it's also very much who he is. That's what he would have done. That's like when you're in prison in Alabama, at least in a state prison, they give you $10 for $10 for every year that you've been inside and a bus ticket. They'll give you your medication. They send you back to the county where you were sentenced. Most people end up reoffending. They don't have any resources. So the only difference in how that song would have played out would have been that he would have had the support of our family. Whereas in the song, he's just on his own and he's looking for her and she's gone. So it's the best love story I know. It's the best love song on the record. It's the only love song I've ever really written because I didn't write it about myself.
Very, very powerful moment. Um, Beautiful work, and you do, uh, really do share a lot. Um,
If you don't interrupt me, I'll just keep talking.
no, that's good. It's good. Um,
Thanks, Trevor.
I, you know, it, it's sad that neither of you are able to, find that happy ending, but at the same time, uh, speaking as someone who is perpetually single but has learned to deal with their own company, uh, it's not someone else that completes you, it's you. You know, you're
Yeah.
you're the only thing that can complete yourself.
Yeah, I think it's nicer on other people too when you don't need them to complete you. Like it's just it's just easier on another person when you can be whole. I mean, granted, it's nice to be needed. I like it when somebody can get jealous every now and then, like you need a little drama and a little friction, but um I think it's funny that the album, like some people I don't remember where I read it, but it's like says I like some people think I might be pandering for attention, or that I do come out with sort of these brazen sort of, well, are they brazen? I mean, I guess through music they are, but in terms of like what we're hearing and like pop music, it's like pretty
We're
tame.
not hearing
Maybe
anything
it's
in pop
that you
music.
don't.
We're hearing things. We're not hearing emotional depth too often. So, yeah, the first song is wild, but there's something to it. You're saying something. You're not glorifying something. You're saying something.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and I really appreciate that feedback because I think that's my biggest challenge is like communicating to people like there is depth here and you can still be like I just don't want women to like give in to this messaging that when you're 40 you're finished and you're no longer like desirable. And I just don't, I just wanted to, I'm a big believer in like if we want there to be a lane for us, then we just can't quit. And so I did want the record to be sexy, you know, and I did want to feel, I wanted it to be sort of a sex positive record, but at the same time, I didn't want that to negate the depth. And I don't think that it does, but I think it's hard for some people to sort of see past maybe like the artwork or some of the track titles or the first track, you know, and then they'll miss it, which is sad, you know, it's sad for them. And I think it's also sad for our culture because our culture, you know, is so ADHD now. You know, it's almost like comes with birth.
Yeah. Well, I thought the album was fantastic. Great concept album to do love and only include one love song where they don't actually get together. Like that's something. It's something. Uh
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and offer you the same opportunity I give everyone else. We'll just call it an opportunity. I'm going to ask for you to close out the show by choosing any song, and just as long as you don't have anything to do with it, we'll play. We'll play. We'll play the original version of Waiting, and I'm going to ask you to choose any song you've had nothing to do with putting together that you feel is, a hard-hearted love song.
Oh, a song I didn't write.
Hmm.
Um, but a hard-hearted love song. Okay, interesting. Um, you know, what's funny is that the first song that's coming to my mind is or like these last love songs. Does it matter? Does it have to be a happy love song?
Oh, I wasn't expecting it to be.
Okay, because Logan Ledger put out an album, I think last year, and there's a song on it called Where Will I Go? And it is, I think it's my favorite song that was released last year. And Misa, my producer, is singing the backups on it. He has a pretty distinct tenor. It's pretty easy to recognize him. Um, but I happen to know that like Logan is somebody who feels things pretty deeply, and this song is, oh man, I just so appreciated this song because I think it touches that place where it's like, I am completely disoriented now. I don't know where I will go because I do not know who I am without you. And yeah, it's my favorite unrequited love song, I think, of the moment.
All right. Caitlin Cannon, thanks for sharing so much.
Hey, thank you so much, Trevor. I appreciate this is a very good conversation for me. Thank you so much for the time that you put into listening.